everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Louisa. Well, I know it's not even Thanksgiving, but guess what? Christmas is right around the corner. Are you ready for Christmas? I know I'm not. Usually I wait till the last minute. Every year I do this. I wait till the very last minute to do my Christmas shopping, all my Christmas jewelry, and then I'm in a mad rush. But this year I thought I would get a head start, and I thought I would show you guys how to make this pretty crystal beaded ring. It has crystals on the top, crystals on the side. It has a beaded band, real pretty. Let me post a photo so you can take a better look, and I'll be right back. The nice thing about making this kind of gift is that the recipient usually loves it. And of course, they're so pretty, and you know, it's made by you, so it's a very special gift. And the other nice thing is that you don't require a lot of materials, just a few crystals and your tools and a little bit of your time. That's all that you need. So let me go ahead and put this down, and I will tell you what you need. Isn't that pretty? I just love this ring. It's so beautiful, and I love how it feels. I love the band. I love how it looks. It's not too big, just the right size. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to tell you what you're going to need. You're going to need one large rondelle. Now this one is, I measured it, it's 7.5 by 6 millimeters, okay? But if you have one that's 8 by 6, that would be okay as well. These crystals don't come in consistent sizes. So whatever size, you know, if it's a large crystal, if it's larger than 7.5 by 6, it'll probably look a little different. It may bump out a little bit more, this large crystal, but that's okay. You can still work with it. You're going to need 6 smaller rondelles, and these are actually 4.5 by 5.5 millimeters, but you can use, you know, 5 by 6. Just make sure they're smaller than this one. Okay, so you'll need 6 of these. Then you're going to need 10 3mm bicones. These are Swarovski crystals. And what I've done here, I don't know if you've noticed, this large rondelle has greenish tones. So I tried to match the 3mm bicones to the same color. So I know the specific color of these because they're Swarovskis, and these are actually Peridot Golden Sahara in a 3mm size. But you know, you can use a bluish tone with bluish, you know, don't get hung up on the colors so much because it's not that important, but you do want it to coordinate somewhat, okay? And then you're going to need 2 rhinestone spacer beads, and these are 5mm, 5 by 2. I couldn't find one that's green, so it's a bluish teal kind of a color, which would work fine. Like I said earlier, don't get too hung up on the colors because no matter what, it's going to look really, really pretty. Okay, so you'll need 2 of those. Then you're going to need some 15-0 round seed beads, Toho seed beads, and some 11-0 round seed beads, both of them in a silver tone. And again, as you can see, my silvers don't match, but I don't mind because I like variation. In fact, I may use a darker gunmetal silver tone for the smaller ones when I go to do the band, and I'll show you that you know, at the end of the video. All right, you're also going to need some 6-pound Fireline. This one's a smoke color, but you know, if you have transparent or white, that's fine as well. I like using smoke. Smoke goes with a lot of different things. And you're going to need 2 yards of this one, and then a size 11 beading needle as well. All right, so go ahead and gather your materials, and I'll meet you right back. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to thread on a small rondelle, and then an 11-0 seed bead, another rondelle, and another seed bead, and then another rondelle, and a rhinestone spacer bead, another rondelle, and a seed bead, 11-0 seed bead, another rondelle, and another 11-0 seed bead, another smaller rondelle, and a spacer bead, rhinestone spacer bead. Okay, So this is what you should have. Okay, so you have the rhinestone spacer bead, a rondelle, seed bead, rondelle, seed bead, rondelle, another spacer bead, and then a rondelle, seed bead, rondelle, seed bead, rondelle. Okay, so once you've got that on your thread, go ahead and bring it down to where the tail is. And then once you get down there, I'm going to make this as easy as possible. Go ahead and make a little knot. And be careful to not get caught up in those beads. Okay, so you're going to make a little knot, just a regular knot. So now you have a circle. Okay. This is what you should have. All right. So now that you've got your circle, you're going to go through all the beads a couple of times because you want to give the ring some stability. Okay, so I usually go around the circle a couple of times. Now you don't want to go too many times because then, you know, later on when we go to create the band, it's going to be very difficult to go through the beads. But you should be able to go around all of the beads at least a couple of times. Okay, so and you'll have more opportunities to reinforce this ring later on after we get done with the embellishments and everything. Okay, so let's see, I'm not even counting, I'm just going around. I try not to get too stressed when I'm doing this kind of work because that's no good either. You don't want to get stressed. Okay, so this is what you should have. These rhinestone spacers are going to be the front and the back of the ring, and these rondelles are going to be where the band comes out of. So out of the 3 rondelles, it's the one in the middle. Oops, it's the one in the middle. Okay, so that's where the band's going to come out of. So you want to navigate to this rondelle right here, the one in the middle, and you're going to grab one 11-0 seed bead, the large crystal, the large rondelle, and another 11-0 seed bead. Okay, so you're coming out of this rondelle, you're going to go to the opposite side where the other rondelle is, and you're going to go in through the bottom of it. So let me turn it around so it's easier for me. So here we go. All right, I don't know if you guys can see that. Coming out of this rondelle, going in through the bottom of this rondelle. All right, and then when you pull your thread, it should pop that large rondelle right in the middle, right on top. Okay, so this is what you should have. Now you're going to grab another 11-0 seed bead, and you're going to go through the large rondelle again. Okay, pull, and now you're going to grab one more 11-0 seed bead, and you're going to go through the original rondelle that you started out from, just the rondelle. Okay, so this is what you should have. Now we're going to go ahead and thread through all of the beads one more time like a figure 8. So you're going to go through this seed bead, the large rondelle, and out through this one, in through the side rondelle, back through the seed bead, and through the large rondelle. So it's going to be like a figure 8. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. All right, so I went ahead and reinforced. I actually went through all the beads again 2 more times. It doesn't hurt to reinforce because these beads actually stick out a little bit, so the chances of them getting caught are pretty high, and it has happened before where the thread is actually torn, believe it or not. So it doesn't hurt to go a couple of times. All right, so now I'm coming down from that rondelle, the one on the bottom, and I'm going to go through that first seed bead that we added before we added the large rondelle in the center. Now you're going to thread on one 11-0, one 3mm bicone, another 11-0 seed bead. So this is what you should have. Okay, and you're going to go through the 11-0 on the other side, on the top end of this middle rondelle. okay, the one that's right by the large crystal. So you have this kind of formation. Okay. So now we're going to go through the rondelle that we started from. And you're going to navigate all the way around to the opposite side of the ring. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so here's the opposite side of the ring. I'm coming out of the middle rondelle, going through the 11-0 that's right by the large center rondelle, thread on one 11-0, a bicone, and another 11-0, and go through the other 11-0 seed bead. So this is what you should have, okay? All right, so now we're going to go ahead and go through that center rondelle again and up through the 2 seed beads and through the bicone. Four 15-0 seed beads, just like that. You're coming out of this crystal here, this bicone, okay? And you're going to go to the rhinestone spacer bead right here. Go through it. And that should pop those seed beads into place. Okay, just like that. I know it looks kind of wonky, but you'll see what we're doing in a couple of minutes when we finish going around the whole ring. Okay, so now we're going to grab another 4 15-0 seed beads, and you're going to insert your needle through the bicone at the other end of the ring. Pull, and you will see that those seed beads pop into place. Okay? All right, so now we're coming out of this bicone. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to grab 4 15-0 seed beads, going through the rhinestone spacer bead, pull. So now we have this, okay, and we're going to finish it off by grabbing another 4 15-0 seed beads, and we'll go through this bicone here now, and you will see in a few seconds what we've just created. Okay, all right, so let's make sure that everything's snug. As you can see, this is what we have. We have the embellishments of the seed beads, the crystals on the side where the band's going to go, and then the other 4 on this side right up against the rhinestones. Can you guys see that? Just make sure that it's all snug, okay? So now we're going to go through this seed bead that's right here, these 2 seed beads. Sorry about the shaky camera. And we're going to go through that side rondelle, the middle rondelle where the band's going to come out of. Okay, so this is where you should be. All right, so now we're going to grab 4 bicones, just like that, and go through the top end of that same rondelle. Okay, and we're going to reinforce by going through these beads again. So I've actually gone through the beads a couple of times. I'm kind of paranoid when it comes to that. I like to reinforce whenever I can. The problem is that if you reinforce too much, then it's hard to get the needle through when you go to do the band. But anyway, I did it twice, so you can do it once or twice, and now you're going to come through that rondelle again, and we're going to reinforce the seed beads that we added to embellish all these, the middle rondelle. So go ahead and go through that middle rondelle, and then go up through the seed beads, the 2 seed beads, or 11 O's, go through the crystal, and through the 4 15 O's. If you can do it all in one shot, that's even better. Sometimes I get lucky and I get to do it all in one shot, and sometimes I don't. Go through the middle rhinestone spacer bead. It's kind of tricky because the sides of it are concave, so it's really hard to get the needle in there sometimes, but go ahead and go through that one and continue the same path that you took when you added the seed beads. Continue reinforcing. You're only going to go around once and then go out through that middle rondelle again. All right, so and I'll meet you back. I've reinforced all of the seed beads that I added, and now I'm coming out of that first crystal that we added by this middle rondelle. I've also snipped off the tail. We don't need the tail anymore. We've reinforced the ring so many times that it's safe to just snip off the tail. Okay, so now we're going to add 7 15-0 seed beads. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, and we're going to go up through, we're going to skip 2 of the bicones, and we're going to go up through the 4th bicone, just like this. All right, so this is what you should have. This is the beginning of the band. Go through that middle rondelle again, and through the first bicone, and through 5 of the 7 15-0 seed beads that you just added. Okay, and this is what you should have. You're going to pick up 9 15-0 seed beads, okay, and you're going to go through 3 of the 7 seed beads that you added previously. So you're coming out of that 3rd one, you're going to go through the 3, can you guys see that? The 3 middle seed beads. Okay, and now you're going to go through 6 15-0 seed beads. So 3 here. Let me just pull so you can see what I'm doing, and then another 3. So this is what you should have. Okay, I know it's a little tricky, but I don't know if you guys can see that. It's kind of like a little box. 3 here, 3 there on the end, and 3 on the side. And again, pick up another 9 15-0 seed beads. Okay, and you're going to go through those 3 on the end, just like that. So now you have two loops. Okay, go through the 3 on the side. I'm going to call these the side beads, and then the 3 on the end. So now you can kind of get an idea of what the band is going to look like. We're going to add some more beads, so it's going to be a little bit different than this. But at some point you will need to put it on your finger and figure out if it's the right size. I did 8 for my finger. I don't know if you'll need 9 or 10, but go ahead and do 8 and then put it on your finger and see how it looks. And keep in mind that it will tighten up because we are going to reinforce and add more beads. But go ahead and do 8 loops for now, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so I've done 7 loops, and I'm going to go ahead and add my my 8th loop. So go through those 3. Okay, and then the 3 seed beads on the side, and then the 3 on the end. And at this point, you want to put it on your finger and just test it out and see how it fits. I think I'm going to add a couple of more loops on my ring there, just to be on the safe side, because it will shrink. We are going to add some more seed beads in between the gaps, so that's going to make it a lot smaller. So I know I said initially 8, but I've got 8 on here now. I think I'm going to do another 2. So, all right, so here we go. This is what you should have. Okay, I have 10 loops right there. Now we're going to go ahead and form the band, or join the band to the other end. So we're going to add 1 bicone. I'm sorry, not 1 bicone, 2 50 seed beads, 1 bicone, and we're going to go through the rondelle at the other end of the ring. Okay, so here's what you should have. Now be careful, make sure that you go through the right side, otherwise the band will be all twisted up. So this is what you should have. And now we're going to add 3 bicones. Now we could have added the bicones before starting the band, but it's just as easy to do it like this, and then go through that first bicone, and then again through that middle rondelle, reinforce the bicone, so go through another, once or twice through those bicones. Okay, so I'm coming out of that large rondelle. I'm going to go through the first bicone on this side of the band now. Grab 2 50 seed beads and go through the 3, I don't know if you guys can see that, the 3 seed beads that are on this end of the band. Let me see if I can get my needle in there. Okay, just like this, so that when you pull, it'll connect this end of the band to the ring. Okay, so now we're going to go through the other 2 50 on this side and the bicone, and the middle rondelle, and the bicone on this side, and the 2 50 the 2 50 seed beads. I didn't think I could do it, but I was able to do it all in one shot. Okay, so now we're going to fill in the gaps. So what you're going to do is you're going to go through, you're not going to go through these, the 3 on the end here. You're going to add 1 50 seed bead, go through the 2 on the side, only 2 of them, okay? Not all 3, just 2 of them. And then grab 1 more 50 seed bead, actually 2 50 seed beads, and go through the middle bead of the next loop over. Okay, so we're skipping a bunch of beads in between. What we're doing is we're inserting, see where the gap is? We're inserting 2 seed beads from one middle bead to the next. Okay, I don't know if that makes any sense. So again, let me show you again. Grab 2 50 seed beads. You're coming out of that middle side bead, out of the 3 on the side. You're going to skip the first seed bead out of the 3 on the next loop and go through the middle 50 seed bead. It's kind of tricky because if you've done it really tight like I have, it's hard to get the needle in, but go ahead and do that and pull, and now you're getting a little bit of an embellishment or a border along the side of that band. Okay, so again, let me show you again. Grab 2 15-0 seed beads. You're going to go to the next loop and you're going to go through the middle of the 3 on the side and pull. And that cinches up the band a little bit. That's why I had you add the extra loop. Okay, I've done it, you know, the bands differently. And I know I said 8 in the beginning, but sometimes I change things up. Like I did this one. This one's a little bit different. It's more of a straight band. It doesn't have the, you know, scalloped kind of a effect. So in this case, you would do less loops, but we're doing the scalloped effect, which cinches up the band a little bit. So you need more loops when you do this kind of an effect. Okay, so I'm going to continue doing all of the loops, adding the 2 in between until I get to the very end. So when you get to the very end, the last loop here, I want you to stop, and then I'll show you what to do next. All right, so I've reached the last loop. Before you go any further, make sure that, you know, I don't want you to pull it too hard because then it's too tight. But make sure there's a little bit of slack there. You know, you don't want the beads to be really, really, really tight. Okay, you want a little bit of give. You want a little bit of space. But anyway, now we're going to do one bead only, so 1 15-0 bead, seed bead, and go through the 2 that are on the side and through the bicone. All right, and now we're going to go through that center, that large rondelle, and on the other side through that side bicone, and the 2 15-0s on the side here. Grab 1 15-0 seed bead, go through, skip the beads, and then go through the middle one out of the 3 on the side of this band. Can you guys see that? Okay, so now again, 2 15-0 seed beads. Go to the next set of the next loop and go through the middle bead of that the 3 side beads. So now we're going to continue going down this side of the band. So go ahead and continue until you get to the very last loop, and then I'll meet you back. At the end of the band, I'm going to grab another 15-0 seed bead, and I'm going to go through. I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to go through the 2 that are on the side here by the bicone, and then go through the bicone, through that middle rondelle, all right, and so here's the band. Now here's what I recommend. I recommend that you go ahead and reinforce. So you're going to go through all these beads again one more time. You're not going to add anything. You're just going to go through the ones that you just added, and the center middle out of the middle seed bead out of the 3 on the side. Let me just show you real quick. All right, so I'm coming out of that rondelle, go through the bicone and the 2 seed beads on the side, the 1 that you added, and then all of the ones that you see that are on the side there, you're going to go through all of them one more time. Now you don't want to pull too much because this is going to tighten the ring even more. Okay, so you need to be aware of that and be mindful of that because you don't want the ring to be too tight. So you still have that scalloped effect. I'm going through the middle bead there and the ones on the side here, the 2 that we added, the middle bead and the 2 that we added. I don't know if you guys can see that. Just keep going all the way down until you get to the other end. Go through the bicone, through the middle large rondelle, and then out through the other side, that bicone, and then down the other side of the band. So go ahead and do that one more time and I'll meet you back. I've gone ahead and reinforced the entire band, and I'm coming out of this side crystal. Okay, so now all we need to do is finish it off. So go through that 11 OC bead that you see right there, and through the rondelle. It really doesn't matter which beads you go through, just as long as you can get away from the band. Okay, and now we're going to find a thread bridge, and we're going to insert the needle through that underneath that thread bridge, pull, and then do like a half hitch knot. Okay, and then once you do that, go through some more beads, and it can be the beads that you added when you embellished that center rondelle. It really doesn't matter. Like I said, you know, just get away from the band and get away from each knot. Do this a couple of times. Find thread bridges wherever you can, and you know, make a half hitch knot. And then, you know, after you get done, go through the adjacent beads and pull, and that should get that knot inside those beads to hide it. Okay, and so you can do it as many times as you feel comfortable, and then once you think you've got the whole thing reinforced, now it's time to go ahead and snip off the excess thread. And I don't have my thread burner. I don't know where it is. I lost it somewhere along the line. But so here's the ring. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial, and I hope I've inspired you to make a lot of these rings. Try different colors, try different shapes. Whenever I've made one of these and given them away, people just absolutely love them. They're so grateful. I know I'd be grateful if somebody gave me a ring like this. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Please subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Bye.